everyone, this is my video presentation of my action research report. My focus for this action research was that the way I was dealing with defiance in my classroom this past school year wasn't effective, and I wanted to be able to change that, so I focused on some strategies that would help change the defiance, as well as being able to start the school year with new strategies to help create a positive student-teacher relation with all of my students and shape my classroom culture. The context of this action research was to build student relationships to increase academic success, strategies that were implemented in the classroom to do this, to be able to start the new school year with the BAR model and the student-teacher relationship scale. The BAR model would help me in implementing a stronger classroom model of building student-teacher relationships and implementing more involvement with the students in the classroom and the culture. And then the STARS model being able to collect more data for me to see how I am building the relationships with the students and if it's being effective. The strategies I used in my classroom was making sure that my students ate breakfast. I did come from a Title I school. They were given free breakfast and free lunch every day. So making sure that they ate, making sure they got a hug in the morning when they came into the classroom and in the afternoon when they left, saying good morning, asking how they were. There was always variables about what could have happened at home or on the bus that could affect their behavior that day. So making sure that there wasn't anything that might interfere with that. Making sure the atmosphere in my classroom was somewhere that the students all felt safe, that they were believed in, and knowing that they were appreciated. If they needed to, because of having such a behavior or being a regular student of behavior and defiance, having a check out and check in with another teacher that was a positive influence and a positive role model in their life. Implementing the BAR model this year, reinforcing my student involvement and classroom culture. Like I said before, having the student-teacher relationship scale to collect data. In my literature, I found some articles, imperial articles, that helped me in defining and deciding which models I should use and which skills I should use. There's many skills that are available. However, this was the STARS model was one that I chose simply because it seemed like it was one of the easiest to use. It was discussed in several of the articles that I found. Relationships throughout elementary school found that students' closeness led to gains in reading achievement. This is why I started this, because I wanted not only my student who was having the defiance issues to have higher achievement, but the rest of my classroom as well. Being able to show the students you care in some way, like Ms. Schaefer did in her room in an article, shows that students were supported, they felt welcomed and cared for in her classroom, and showing that the BAR model statistically helped classrooms and a high school. That made me want to implement that in my classroom. I focused on a few students in particular. From January, you could see that their behavior was around 56% positive, a lot of struggling with defiance and them not listening. However, with implementing my daily strategies from the beginning of the month to the end of the month in February, it helped them go up to an 80% average, with them being less disruptive and creating a better academic culture for them, which led to them going from a first grade 7-month grade equivalency in their comprehension to a third grade 2-month grade equivalency in their comprehension. So showing that the student having a better relationship with me led to better behavior for them in that month, which led to a improvement in their understanding. The benefits in my classroom were that students became more successful, not only that student, but the other students as well, with having less interrupted time. Students were able to focus more on their academics and their achievements. This allowed me to teach more, be more involved with my students, be more involved with the rest of them and how they're learning, as well as being able to have that student supported by the classmates. The classroom culture itself became a lot calmer. It wasn't so tense with having to refocus or worry about the child being defiant or having them have a meltdown in the middle of a lesson. Being able to implement the bar model in the beginning of this upcoming year, it would be very interesting to be able to support my students with an entire classroom model that focuses on student and teacher relationships as its primary model of the classroom. From there, students and teachers are encouraged to look at curriculum together, understand what they're doing for the week together, set classroom schedules together. Basically having the students more involved in almost any way that the teacher can. That way that the students feel that they are involved and they can take responsibility because they were a part of making that classroom culture. As I said before, I'm going to use the STARS models to collect data on student-teacher relationship building to see if what I was doing to gain relationships with those students was successful, or if I need to focus on building a different relationship with another student, or what I need to do to create a stronger relationship. You don't have to use this if you don't want to collect the data on them. It was one that was, like I said, frequented in the articles that I found. So this was one that I chose. However, there are many different ways to collect data on teacher-student relationships. The benefits to our profession would be that teachers are more aware on their connection with their students, or if they don't have a connection with their students, being able to build something with them and recognize how to, if they need that support. Teachers who work in building the relationships in their classroom will help build their own positive classroom cultures. Students feel more welcome, safer, more open to getting answers incorrect if they know that they can trust their teacher. Students work harder on achieving goals because they feel supported by the teacher, meaning that they want to work harder towards their goals. It increases internal motivation. Students become more actively involved in their learning because with the BAR model, they are involved in setting and understanding their classroom culture along with maybe curriculum or learning for the week. Maybe they choose a literature that they're reading for the standard that they're working on, or something to that extent where they had a part of being involved in the curriculum. That will help them understand that they are involved in their classroom and they're a part of it, and which leads to more engagement. Comparing our spring class to this class, in EDF 6487, I focused mainly on the strategies to build the relationships between teachers and students. That's what I needed at that time for my classroom. I needed to focus on a student who was defiant and how I could build that relationship with him to stop that defiance or slow that defiance. I had supporting literature for it, and I showed in my research that positive student relationships help make a better classroom setting. In EDG 6920, I focused, however, more on different ways to collect data, the BAR model and the STARS, to be able to collect data and have a different model in your classroom to create and center around student-teacher relationships. My research was more empirical articles to support myself in what I had researched, showing that the implementation of the model and the data collection techniques would help support the classroom culture. These are my references for my literature.